Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I am your humble, friendly, neighborhood Christian whistleblower. My name is Jeffrey Daugherty, and you have reached the Gospel Truth channel. And we are here to talk tonight about an introduction to astrology. I guess I should say more correctly, we're here to talk this morning about an introduction to astrology. We're glad that you're here. We are happy that you're here, and we hope that you will find this program both inspirational and instructional. And the reason why I'm doing this, we had Heidi on to talk about Vedic astrology, and this is going to be a discussion of Western astrology. We've talked about the tarot. We've talked about palmistry. What I'm trying to do is get you to find some type of a divination method that you find appealing to you. It is my personal belief that everyone should practice. Hello, Lewis. It's been a while since I've seen you. It's my opinion that everyone should practice a divination. Everyone should have a practice of divination. And we're hoping to show you some things that might allow you to say, hey, that's for me. You're watching Heidi talk about Vedic astrology. You've watched us go through palmistry, tarot cards, cosmic initiation deck cards. And it was my pleasure to be on Barbara DeLong's radio program just last week, the originator of the cosmic deck of initiation. It was my privilege to be on her show, on both of her radio shows. So very much my privilege and my pleasure to be on those shows. She did a great work with that cosmic deck of initiation. Jessie McCartney says that she has been working with tarot. Excellent. If some of the others of you have been working with a divination tool, please let me know. And I do encourage you to watch Jeff's Book of the Dead. Earthling 15, a.k.a. Occupy, says watch the last one. I would encourage you to watch all of them. And it's very, very good stuff. And it's stuff that is stuff you need. I've started the pendulum. I am making pendulums. I just have to price them. I'm not sure what the price will be, but I will know this time tomorrow. So we will have NCK original pendulums handcrafted by me, Jeffrey Daugherty, your friendly neighborhood Christian whistleblower, to go along with the divining rods that we handcraft. I handcraft every one of them. Lisa Fuqua is also doing the pendulum. I'm glad to hear that as well. And I know this makes a lot of noise. Sorry about that. And I'm hoping that each of you will take up some type of a divinatory practice. Let you go back and forth easier. Yes. Thank you. I appreciate it. So let's talk about astrology. Western astrology, but many of the concepts are the same as I just bought a pendulum. Okay, good for you, Shelby. Working on watching all of them, but it takes a fair bit of time. Just working on the Create Yourself series. The pendulum I wonder about. Hey, can you tell I was watching Outlander? The pendulum, yeah, I don't resonate with it so well, but it works very well for me. So let's talk about astrology. To understand the zodiac, or to understand astrology, first, we need to understand the elements and the modes. There's 4 elements that represent the idea of oneness that molds all life and embodies the ultimate perfection. The elements are the basic blocks of our universe. Although all are in each of us, we tend to be more attuned to 1 or 2 elements. Davey, I don't think Davey likes Outlander. I'm not sure why. It seems to be a good show. Fairly historically accurate, I think. Davey, tell me, please, sir, what do you dislike about Outlander? It's not Highlander. I loved Highlander even better. But Outlander, it seems to be pretty good to me. I don't know. But I will defer to Dave. Oh, the silly Scots accents. Their accents are bad. Okay, so their accents are bad. Well, what do you expect? They're a bunch of Americans, a bunch of Yanks trying to act like they're Scots. Highlander, there can be only one. There can't be much. Nearly chokes historically accurate. So not, huh? Okay. There's not many things more. Okay, my bad. There's not many things more silly than Christopher Lambert trying to do a Scottish accent. But what a great movie. I recant that. It is not historically accurate. I just said that for I don't know why. It is historical. All right. So the 4 elements, you know about the 4 elements: fire, earth, air, and water. Fire, earth, air, and water are the 4 elements. And that's what we're talking about. So you need to understand the elements. Oh, he's never watched it. Fire is about inspiration. Those that are born to love, those that are into romance, those that are into intuition. Back to the topic. Those that are, it's a lesson of power. Earth is for the practical, concentrated force, sensations, lesson of service. So fire, inspiration, power. Earth, practicality, service. Air, intellect, versatility, brotherhood. Water, emotions, receptive, peace. So there's 4 elements. I be the fire sign, says Jesse McCartney. And then there's 3 modes. Cardinal means that they initiate and set the tone for a season. They're dynamic. They change. Fixed means they carry signs through the purpose of a season. They're persevering. They don't change. Mutable concludes and assimilates a season. So they're adaptable. They can be cardinal or they can be fixed. So when you understand the 4 elements, fire, earth, air, water, and the 3 modes, cardinal, fixed, and mutable, you can begin to understand some of the workings of the zodiac. Somebody start saying out what you are in the, I'm guessing that Lewis is a Gemini, as am I. Gemini rules the arms and the lungs. Shout out your signs if you wish to. And I'll tell you what part of your body is ruled by your sign. Gemini rules the arms and the lungs. Capricorn rules the knees. Taurus rules the neck and the throat. Anybody else? Anybody else? Scorpio rules the gonads. Virgo rules the intestines. Gemini, we've already talked about that, shoulders, our arms and lungs. And it's interesting, I'm Gemini and sun sign. I've always had big arms. Well, you know, lifting weight, I guess, all those years probably has something to do with it. Cancer rules the breast and stomach. Virgo, I think we already said the intestines. Just a couple more seconds if you want to shout out your sign to see what part of your body is ruled by that. Leo rules the heart and the back, or they correspond to. The stomach would be of Cancer. I have very long arms and big shoulders. That's interesting because arms and lungs are part of Gemini. Pisces is about the feet. Aries is about the head and the face. Aquarius is about the legs and the blood. Libra is about the kidney and the adrenals. And I think we got them all. There we go. How about that? Explains the gas. That's funny. All right. So let me, while I'm here, we'll just talk about these two. Gemini, let's see. go back up to where people started. Gemini, their mantra is, I think. They're adaptable, articulate, clever, communicative, curious, dexterous, flexible, intellectual, lively, restless, sociable, talkative, versatile, witty. They're changeable, they're cunning, given to gossip, nervousness, and tenseness. They make good journalists, salespeople, teachers, linguists. Yellow is their color. Agate is their stone. Mercury is their planet. And their plant is the dill. Aries, active, ambitious, assertive, competitive. And this is your sun sign. Courageous, creative, enthusiastic, extroverted, free, individualistic, naive, self-assured, headstrong, impatient, prideful, quick-tempered. Soldiers, explorers, blacksmith, leaders. Scarlet is your color. Your gem is the garnet. Metal is iron, and your plant is basil. Taurus, conventional, cautious, determined, efficient, industrious, introverted, loving, material, patient, persistent, possessive, reliable, sensual, warm. Jealous, lazy, self-indulgent, stubborn. Those are things you watch out for. Artists, gardeners, singers, builders. Blue, diamond, copper, apricot. I'm gonna itch my nose. Cancer, calm, conscientious, domestic, imaginative, introverted, intuitive, moody, quiet, protective, prudent, sensitive, sympathetic, tenacious, self-pitying, sulky, touchy, unstable. Historian, nurse, hotelier, sailor, silvery blue, moonstone, silver, and lettuce. And we'll come back to those in a minute. Let's talk more about the 12 houses. So what are the houses? Well, we'll talk about planets first. No, we'll talk about houses. The houses are the area of life experience. The houses are basically 12 divisions of astrology representing the areas of life and human activity, the environments which may be overcome as life advances. Mostly, the houses occupied by the planets will be of more importance than the signs they occupy. The houses occupied by the planets will be of more importance than the signs they occupy. How a house experience is handled will in turn affect the next house. Each house has a sign associated that is the nature of the purpose. A house shows the experiences through which your deepest sense of purpose is lived out. So that you can see it's rather deep. It's rather, there's a lot going on. There's really a lot going on. Really a lot going on. Sun sign is the core of an individual and discloses individual attributes and needs. The sun's location expresses where you could change and grow. That's what Western astrology says. So when we talk about in Western astrology, what we are, what your sign, we're talking about our sun signs. The moon sign is your emotional life and your emotional responses. The moon's location shows your feelings and your subconscious self. The moon's influence is subtle, relating to personality beneath the surface. The ascendant or the rising sign and the descendant. The ascendant is the degree on the east horizon at the moment of birth and begins the cusp of the first house. The rising sign is the entire sign of 30 degrees. The descendant is the sign that's setting in the west horizon at birth. So Heidi will tell you that your ascendant is the most important part of your chart. And I do tend to agree with her. I think that oh, there's Heidi. Look at this. Nice to see you, Heidi. Yeah, we're going through Western. I know that we had you go through Vedic, but we're just throwing this out because I'm trying to get people to find a divination practice that they resonate with. So we're trying to we've gone through Heidi Tarot, another show. We've gone through palmistry. We've gone through scrying. We've gone through the cosmic deck of initiation. So we're going through a whole bunch of stuff. And now we of course, we had you on and you went very well through the Vedic astrology, which I think is better. And I said that from the beginning. So I'm not doing it just because Heidi's here. But if you want to get a Vedic reading, second to none, I really believe this, not just because she's a friend of mine, but I think Heidi is the best in the world at what she does. And just contact her through channel 27, Heidi Vandenberg. You see her there in the chat room. And she says that the most important is the ascendant. And then after that would be the moon. So the Western astrology would tell you that your sun sign is the most important. So the Vedic says the ascendant would be the most important, then the sun. And then you also have the retrograde planets, which appear to move backwards when seen from Earth because of the different size and speeds of the planetary orbs. Now, the planets themselves, and this is just a high-level overview. And remember what the rods say. The rods say that, yes, Vedic astrology is the original. Vedic astrology is the best. It's the origin, and that Western astrology kind of jacked it. And I would agree with that from what I know from Heidi and what I know from the rods. So, and no, all due respect to anybody that's a Western astrologer, but there you go. Planets represent psychological urges, the fundamental aspects and types of personalities. The house position of a planet shows where your consciousness is focused, where the action is. The sign a planet is in will indicate the energy that's working through that planet's personality type. A thorough knowledge of the planets and their natures is an essential part of astrology. So there's 10 planets because they include the sun, moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. So each sign has a corresponding planet that it works well with. It has a planet where it's exalted, where its energy is pure and elevated. Heidi says, I'll come back on and do some readings for you guys on here. Oh, that's great, Heidi. We'd love to have you do that. Its energy is pure and elevated. And it also has a complement where the planet's energy is positive. And then it also has a fall and a dishonor. A detriment is when a sign is opposite its rulership. It's weak. It's negative. It is repressed. For example, I am well, let's say we have somebody in there that's I saw a Virgo. You're exalted in Mercury. You are detriment in, what is that? Neptune. And you fall as a Virgo in Venus. So there you go. There's planetary aspects as well. The angular relationship between two planets. For example, if you have a Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and directly across from Gemini is Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter. So there would be a relationship between those two planets. There would be a relationship between those two planets. I'm just looking at this chart, telling you what the chart says. It says Gemini is ruled by Mercury, Cancer is ruled by the moon, Leo is ruled by the sun, Virgo ruled by Mercury, Libra ruled by Venus, Scorpio ruled by Mars, Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter, Capricorn ruled by Saturn, Aquarius by Uranus, not swamp gas, just Uranus. Pisces is ruled by Neptune, Aries is ruled by Mars, Taurus is ruled by Venus, which brings us back to Gemini. So there's some really good stuff. I have rods. I made them myself. I'll go through every time of day until I hit my birth time. That's a great idea. Yes, you could only ask yes, no. Start off and go, was I born? Do it in it's 24 hours, so do it in 6-hour bunches. Was I born in this 6 hours, first 6 hours of the days? Yes or no? Was I born in the second 6 hour of the day? Yes or no? Was I born in the third 6 hour of the day? Yes or no? Was I born in the fourth? Exact. Do it like that. So what we're trying to do is just give you a little taste of what astrology is about. And we're trying to give you a little idea of Western astrology now that you've had a taste of Vedic astrology. And again, I'm trying to get you to get some resonance with something, have something speak to you so you can find a divination practice that works for you. Heidi, since you're sitting there, do you want to do a reading or two right now? Feel free to say no. I know it is 2 o'clock in the morning, but since you're here, I thought I would at least ask because these people are about to stampede if I don't. So I'll just ask, and feel free to say no, Heidi. You don't have to come on unless you, oh, she's in bed. So no, we are not going to bring Heidi on. So ha, ha, ha. Heidi says, forget about it, suckers. I'm not doing it. And I don't blame her. But Heidi will be back on. I was just on her channel. If you haven't seen that, watch it. We had Jenny Moonstone as well. That was actually Heidi and Jenny's show. I was on, and it was very, very interesting. Lots of great stuff to talk about. Heidi is, like I said, the best in the world at what she does. And if you really want to know about yourself, I recommend that you get a reading from her. Jenny is very gifted with the tarot cards, and I think that Jenny has a really good grasp on political commentary. And I was encouraging her to do more political commentary because she has a great feel for it. And there's not many women that do it, and certainly not that do it with her proficiency. And it's interesting to watch Jenny and Heidi work together because they're different personalities and they're working through different spiritual modalities. And it brings a great synergy. And when you put me into the mix, I'm there just doing what I do, enjoying it, learning from both of them. And it seems to be a real nice synergy. So we do appreciate you checking out their channel, Channel 27. Channel 27, for all intents and purposes, is both Heidi and Jenny's channel. It's really Heidi's channel, but Jenny comes on there. She doesn't maintain her own YouTube channel. So let's ask some questions, and we'll ask the questions that we did. I don't see the cat, so we're not going to be able to rub him on the cat. He's off doing cat things somewhere, but we can certainly ask. Let's say, let's do this. Is Vedic astrology the more ancient art between Vedic and Western? So yes, Vedic astrology is the more ancient art. Did Western, for lack of a better word, co-opt Vedic astrology? Yes. But let's be fair. Does Western astrology still have some viable use? Yes. Is Western astrology better than Vedic astrology? No. And here's the one I want to know. Is Heidi Vandenberg really in bed right now? Yes, Heidi Vandenberg really is in bed right now. I'm not going to go there. All righty then. Does Western astrology still have some, does Western astrology still provide some valuable information? Yes, it does. If you have to make a choice between Western astrology and Vedic astrology, should you choose Western astrology? No. If you have to make a choice between Western astrology and Vedic astrology, should you choose Vedic? Yes. I would tend to agree with all that. Is the Outlander TV show historically accurate? Davey, you're right. It's not historically accurate. So we'll go along with that. Heidi is here. Yes. OMG. Heidi Vandenberg, young oracle, is in the house. And she's in bed, but she's still watching. So she'll be on in the next few days to talk to us, do some readings about with her expertise in Vedic astrology. Up your kilt, he says. Davey is a true Scotsman, so we allowed Davey to be our Scottish expert. Is the ascendant sign truly more important than your sun sign? Yes. I like it. Very, very interesting stuff. Is there somebody in the chat room that should take up a practice of astrology? Yes. Is there somebody in the chat room that should take up a practice of tarot? Yes. Is there somebody in the chat room that should take up a practice of palmistry? Yes. Heidi Vandenberg asks, are the nakshatras the most important? And the answer from the rods is yes. I just heard my phone go off. I just have to figure out where it is. I can call you. and put me on. Nah, I don't. Would that be kind of hokey? Heidi says she'll call me, and I can put her on speaker, and she can do a reading. Let's try it. Go ahead, Heidi. Give me a call. Somebody put in your. Ha ha ha. Oh, tomorrow she meant. Well, why would we do that tomorrow? We'll just have you on the channel regular tomorrow. Now that's right. You're in bed. How can you're not going to get to your computer? I wasn't thinking. Sorry for that. False alarm. No, not. Does it say no now or not now? Not now. It says NO now. So I don't know if she means she has her phone. So can you do it on your phone, Heidi? So let's do it. If you can do it now, call me. If you don't mean to do it till tomorrow, don't call me. But if you want to, we'll certainly give it a shot. See how well it works over the new fancy microphone that I have. Thank you for your sponsorship that enabled me to buy a new microphone. Got a great deal on it. Oh, here's Heidi Vandenberg. Yeah, let's just do it this way. Hello, Heidi Vandenberg.
What's going on?
How are you?
We can make this like coast to coast.
It's just like coast to coast. So somebody put in your day, your time of birth. We want your day, your time, and where you were born, right, Heidi? Yeah, let's do two. The first two people, bam, day, time. Okay, we can't do unknown time. Sorry, it's got to be you got to know. You have to know a time. Oh. Okay, Heidi, you ready?
Yep.
February 21, 1981. Ozark, Alabama. Ozark, Alabama. 7:01 p.m. So no more. We got the ones we need. Thank you very much. Let me know when you're ready, Heidi, and I'll put the speaker up to you. What's that? 7:01 p.m., February 21, 1981, Ozark, Alabama. Welcome to Coast AM. We have on the line today Heidi Vandenberg. Hello, Heidi. How are you? Welcome to Coast AM. That's a terrible George Norrie. Excellent. So tell me when you're ready, and I'll put the microphone over as close as I can to the computer. Okay, so let's see if this helps. Go ahead.
Okay, so this person is, okay, let me just say something. And the very important thing is your degrees of your ascendant, right? So this person is a Leo ascendant, but 29 degrees of a Leo. So that's almost close to, if he was born within 1 minute, 2 minutes later, this ascendant will change. So you're going to feel a lot of Virgo. And your Virgo, so let's just go with you have, it's hard to say because this is what I have to do a reading for. But you have Moon, Saturn, and Jupiter all conjunct together in Virgo, in Hasta. That might be the other palm reader that is in the building, to say the least. Okay, so this person is really good with their hands, really good detective, and really seriously a perfectionist, like to an extreme where it's almost like they get in their own way, their own thoughts. Okay, and then I would say that's your ascendant is a Leo though. So your Leo ascendant is so close that you're going to feel a lot of the Virgo because that's your second house, and you value. I would say you really value like perfection, and you're very critical. And you're very critical when you speak. You might be shy, but you have you worry so much. It's crazy. Okay. Then you have Venus and Jupiter conjunct together. That gives you a weird issue with relationships where you feel like in a way that you're never going to be happy. Like there's always like a what's next. And there's always like if this is a male, I don't know if this is a male or a female, but if this is a male, it's really hard to stay, interested in somebody. You'll go through, or you'll date people that are like, they're just drama. And if it's a man, you don't, or if it's a woman, you don't have that love and romance factor. Like I would say you're not so sappy. You're like more practical when it comes to romance. You're like, oh, been there, done that, done. So you might settle and you might get a relationship because you just know there's not going to be anything better. Because you're very practical. The way you think, everything you do is very practical. And you have Rahu in the 12th, if this is right. I mean, this could change. And definitely you are, I would say, you might not sleep well. It's definitely you're very interested in other realms, learning about other things, like different countries, foreign cultures, foreign lands.
You're nailing it, Heidi, by the way.
Yeah? Good.
Yep.
Well, I'm not surprised, but this is good. And you have Rahu in the 12th is somebody that could get in trouble, or you could be very interested in secrets and what's going, like you want to solve crimes. You might have wanted to, I don't know. It's a spiritual thing. But the problem is you might have a lot of hidden enemies. And you might have a lot of hidden enemies, but it doesn't matter. You'll get over it. And there's some nurturing. And your partnerships and relationships, it could be, I would say, there's some power struggles big time.
Heidi is so good she can do this in her pajamas, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, no. Okay, so then transit. Okay, if this is the correct time and this is the right ascendant, well, you probably had a rough year and a half, lots of change, and endings, new beginnings, like big change. And I guarantee you probably are Leo ascendant because the moon is in Leo right now, so this is probably pretty accurate. And when you're going to clear house. You're going to have a Rahu return, and you're going to get rid of everything that's not supposed to be in your life. And and it could have to do with health, and it could have to do with relationships because it's hitting your Venus. So it definitely could have to do with that. You're definitely going to have more opportunities for communication, for sales, if you do anything like that. And, third house is any type of social media, networking, like when it comes to writing sometimes. Jupiter's in your third house is sales, and it's good it can give you a lot more opportunities. But Rahu in the 12th, on Rahu, you have to be very cautious for the next year and a half for accidents. Because you've got Rahu in the 12th, Ketu in the 6th, and it's still just, you got to be cautious. When you're like driving, watch out for hidden enemies for the next year and a half. You should be fine, but I'm saying this because you need to just be cautious. And Saturn's going into your 5th, so if you have kids, discipline with kids. But if you don't have kids, it's a good time to try to have kids if you want kids.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Heidi. Stacy says that's dead on. You hit the ball out of the park on that.
Okay. That was a girl?
That was a girl.
Okay.
Do you want to do one more, or are you done? I don't blame you.
No, I'll do one more. I'll do one more.
One more. It is December the 14th, 1964. Let me make sure it's 64 and not 69. Yes, December 14th, 1964, 8:20 in the morning.
Okay.
Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. West of the Rockies. No, east of the Rockies.
Okay, interesting. Funny, both of these, is this a male or a female?
I believe this is a male.
Okay. All right, so this person is a Sagittarius ascendant. All right, so I would be curious, and this is just me asking if you're taller, or maybe you have like...
It's a female, my bad. It's a female.
Okay, see, I would be curious to know if this person is tall and maybe has long legs. Just curious, like if the legs, and even if they're not tall, their legs are longer than their body.
Doc, are you tall and do you have long legs? Or even if you're not tall, are your legs longer than your body?
Yeah. Now, this person is a researcher detective. I mean, seriously, I don't think it could get any more detective. So first of all, you've got Mercury in the first house in Moolah. Mercury in the first house is somebody that is really good at, really good at communicating. It can be harsh because it's in the structure of Mula. Mula is all about getting out the truth, but kind of in a destructive way. So, and you're not afraid to spread the light. Like you expose the darkness and you want to expose the darkness but this is somebody that's like a phenomenal researcher. So literally might be a researcher or a writer or a collector or somebody that deals with any type of Mercury stuff, writing software, dealing with, just this is like extremely powerful for dealing with communication. Anything Mercury. They look up everything that Mercury is.
Hey, Heidi, I think I might have screwed up.
Yeah.
She put in 8:20 earlier, but now she's saying it's 9:20.
Okay, so that's going to change everything.
Yep.
Okay.
It did say 8:20 earlier, but it's actually 9:20. Is what I'm being told now. I'm sorry.
All right, that doesn't matter. She still has Mercury and Mula, so this is somebody that wants to get to the bottom of things.
And she is tall and does have long legs.
Okay, good. Now, your ascendant is in the nakshatra of Shada, which is more spiritual side of Sagittarius. So you have Mercury and Mula, which is all about dissecting things, but your ascendant nakshatra is in Shada, which is in Sagittarius. So that's more about appreciating and valuing higher beliefs, like really much. Like very artistic. A lot of it can be, somebody that really values this kind of stuff. Now, you don't like to lose a debate, that's for damn sure. But, and because you're usually probably right, I'm going to be honest, because Saturn, you might be a writer, like writing something. It could be, you could write law. I mean, this is like somebody that's really, I would say, somebody that writes and is a researcher. But the way you think is so creative. Your moon's in Revati, just like mine. You probably love animals. Okay.
You're right on again, Heidi.
Deepest spirituality. Like literally, it doesn't get any more mystical than a Revati moon, where we can get lost sometimes because we're so like, it's like you feel like even though you're really disciplined and structured, you have this moon that's like goes out in the la world sometimes. So the way you think, it can make you forgive easily. It can give you, you can get walked on easily. Like this is where my soft side comes in, is with this moon in Revati. Even though I act like an asshole or a badass on TV or whatever, and I act like I'm real feisty, it's only like out of protection. Where deep down inside, I'm a nice person. I have a Pisces moon. Okay, you might like being around the water. You might, I don't know, love animals, like I said, and it's music, big time for music too. And actually, Saturn and Denisa, you march to the own beat of your drum. You may have some issues with possibly power struggles with father, or maybe it wasn't power struggles, maybe you were separated from him, you could have even went to jail. I mean, it's something like that. But that would take more researching around. But K2 Sun Venus conjunct in the 12th, that's like you should be a nurse, or like you should be a detective, or you should be, something that has to do with research, power, and art, like helping women. So there's K2 in the 12th is somebody that like wants to do philanthropy and help people, whether it be reading astrology charts. This might be the other astrologer in the room, okay? But you could have gotten trouble like at one point of your life. That K2 Sun Venus conjunct, it's not always wonderful. It gives you the same thing that I just said about the other person at K2 Venus. There's that lack of, fulfillment in relationships. Yeah, once again, same thing. And you could have had somebody that passed away that you were close to, like a relationship or, then it was tough, So, Jupiter in this. Okay, that's all I can say for now. And you really might have hidden enemies that are women, too.
Interesting. Heidi, thanks so much for...
Hold on, let me tell you what transits real quick.
Okay.
So, let's just say, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Saturn is conjunct exactly on Sun and K2. this is like there is right now something big going on in your life, okay? With ending 12th house is hospitals, imprisonment. It's also health. This is enemies. This is the 12th house of moksha, letting go. You have been dealing with some serious like 12th house matters. Probably don't sleep well either. So when you have Saturn that's gone through this 12th house, this is like a lot of expenses it could have been. It could have been, this could be an inheritance coming up soon. This could also be anything that was not supposed to be in your life was removed in the past 2 years. Or you could have dealt with like ending and, letting go, the moksha. But you're probably okay with it in a way because you have Ketu in the 12th, which is you're kind of used to this moksha thing. Great, you're living your last life. So now Saturn's going to go into your first house in Sagittarius. So you're still going to have to take on a lot of tasks. You're going to still have to deal with a lot of stuff, but it's going to feel a hell of a lot better than it was in the 12th. But you're in a Rahu Dasha, so you have to, once again, Rahu Dashas are unpredictable. And if it has to do with health, if you had like an illness that was like unpredictable, or if there was something that you were getting sick, it could be cured, or something could come back. Like you could have been dealing with like some weird sickness that, it could improve for sure. But yeah, there's great opportunities for money coming up, and possibly even an inheritance. Good luck. But there's a lot of energy right now. I mean, 29 degrees in the 12th house, conjunct Ketu. Ketu and Sun are in combust because they're sitting at the exact same degree, so it's a really big power struggle there. And you probably really, really like your space. Like you love your isolation. Both of these two people that I've done, like there's a lot of emphasis on like being alone. So.
Excellent, Heidi. And of course, she said you nailed that as well, dead on. Let me ask you a question before I let you go, if I can. Is that all right?
Yeah.
For the people that are in the chat room or that may watch this video in the days, weeks, months, and years to come, if they are interested in astrology, being as objective as you possibly can you think of any reason why anyone would choose to devote themselves to a study of Western astrology versus Vedic astrology?
Yeah, I think sometimes it just clicks. Like Western astrology will click with somebody, and sometimes Vedic does. I mean, there's never, like I look at it, like I've learned both. I learned both because I needed to see what was right. Like I could read Western astrology. I mean, I could just make this and swap this over and still read it. But for me, it was just, that's how I interpret it better. Because let me tell you something. Western astrology is more of the optimistic approach. It's like kind of what you can be. It's the softening things up a little bit. The Vedic astrology is the truth you don't even want to know about. So true. The true, like karma, it's the fact, it's dark. But that's personally, like, that's what I need to hear. Because, yes, I can see where my Western astrology signs make sense to a degree. But no, because nobody knows. Like, there's a lot of things that I don't express that, I have a lot of things that have happened to me, and that I have a lot of, not secrets, but trust me. And I'm pretty open on YouTube, and I see people know probably about 5%, so you can just imagine. And the Vedic way is more like, it's the hardcore. So I think some people that are very optimistic, the Western astrology works very well for them. And a lot of people, I think, get intimidated by all the weird language and stuff. So let's just say this. For me, that I understood it, anybody can understand it. Okay? You can learn it, trust me. I mean, I don't understand things like very easily. But if you're interested in it and you can learn Western, you can learn Vedic. And I'm telling you, if you learn astrology, period, and you learn the houses, up, down, left, and right, if you learn the planets, every possible thing that they can mean, if you learn these houses, and there's a thing called house to house, so like, you learn the basics. You can read any charts, Western way, sideways, upside down, it doesn't matter. I mean, if you learn the basics, which is the most important thing, and then learn the nakshatras, because I totally believe that the nakshatras are the most important part of your chart. That's how I read charts. screw the signs. The 12 signs are completely bogus. These nakshatras break up the signs into 3 different signs, different padas, and you can see this in the sky. So, but they both work. I think they're both great tools. I mean, however you want to learn it and understand it, it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing, you know. So personally, I just go with like what makes the most sense with the source, you know. Like I said to you just before, India's made the numeric, and you know what? To be honest with you, last night with the rods, you confirmed it. And you just did it again. So I'm really glad. But you know, there are so many important things that are the same in Western astrology as Vedic astrology. Like, yeah, if Venus is in Virgo, it's debilitated. If you know, Scorpio, if you have a moon in Scorpio, that's debilitated. But I don't look at debilitation like the most people. And that you have Saturn in Libra, that's exalted. Well, I can tell you that not all Saturn in Libra exalted is great. And this is where you have to dissect your chart. Like, it's crazy. And it's way more than the signs, the houses. If you want real astrology, it's not just signs. It's knowing the degrees, what's happening in a conjunction. Like, if you have, you know, today we have, as I did these charts, you have Venus conjunct Ketu. Well, what's Ketu? Moksha, loss, ending, you know, problems, issues, disgrace. But then it's also moksha. When it's conjunct Venus, it does that to the Venus. It totally screws up your Venus. So like that love, romance, art, healing, you've done it in a past life. You're good at it, but it doesn't really mean anything to you. So there's so many ways. There's aspects, there's degrees, there's conjunctions, there's house cuts, there's, you know, there's Shadbala, which is strength. There's yogas. And like yoga is from India, right? Which hence that's how yoga started. And these yogas are in people's charts. Like that's what these yogas are. There's hundreds of yogas, and they activate certain transits. Like there's so much into this stuff that you can't learn it all. You physically can't learn it all. It's impossible. I really believe that.
Interesting. So like the famous German philosopher Jiminy Cricket said, let your conscience be your guide.
Yeah. And actually, you know what's really funny? When I got a Reiki treatment once by this woman who said, I forget who she said was my spirit guide, Saint Germain, I think. Yeah, Saint Germain was my guy. She told me I needed to let go of the past. Like she wrote these notes for me. I actually just found this piece of paper recently. And she also said to me that, you know, these charts that I do, yeah, use them as a tool, but the rest is your intuition. And honestly, like I study a chart before I have a reading and I learn like certain things, but then I can't even explain to you how I read charts because it's all over the place. It's like it's my own like weird technique. It's impossible to explain, and it's patterns, and I don't know how to explain them because it's not a specific technique. It's just knowledge that I know. So, and I think another thing is a lot of astrologers get stuck up in with the details. Like that first person, the palm person, that person would have a hell of a time learning astrology because it's so detailed, and she's a detailed perfectionist. So that person would go crazy and would want everything to be perfect and could give up because they're like, we need exact facts, you know, that Virgo energy. So that's kind of how I look at astrology. But I have a PowerPoint on my channel. If you go to Vedic, there's something, and I have it on Vedic astrology. And I go through my PowerPoint, and you can see all the signs. Like you see all the houses, and you see what all the houses mean. It's pretty user friendly and easy to understand because I wrote it. So if I can write something, you could probably understand it. It's like third grade writing. It's got to be simple and bullets and notes. So it's, you know, but it's a lot to learn. I mean, it really is. It's a lot of stuff.
Excellent.
Can I do one more?
Pardon?
You want me to do one more?
No, you've been on here too long. It's too late. I really appreciate you being on. We'll have you back on soon, and you know we'll be together here, probably with Jenny and all that. So I really appreciate you doing that spur of the moment. I felt bad asking you, but I know that if I didn't, everybody would be hollering and yelling. So, ladies and gentlemen, Heidi Vandenberg, Vedic life coach, channel 27, one of a kind by Heidi.org is her website. Heidi, thank you so much. We appreciate you, and we'll talk to you soon.
Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye. Heidi Vandenberg, ladies and gentlemen, a nice treat. We weren't expecting that at all. And, she really is the best of the best. And I appreciate having her on. She's a good friend, and she's really, really good at what she does. And it's interesting because Jenny Moonstone reads the cards a lot like Heidi does astrology, very intuitive, kind of all over the place, not something that's probably duplicatable or you probably couldn't teach people to do it, but they're both, I think, among the best at what they do. And it's funny because I read cards in a very linear type fashion. I'm not nearly as intuitive as Jenny is, I don't think. I'm much more about the history and the hermetic meaning of the cards, but great stuff. Davey, you might want to rethink the wording of that. Davey says, I'm always fondling stones in my pockets. But we digress. Heidi, thanks so much for stopping by. So, folks, that was perfect because the idea of this was to give you an understanding of what astrology is about, just to give you a little taste. If you ever watched Nacho Libre, don't you want to know what it tastes like? Just a little taste of what it tastes like. Good movie. You have to watch it at least twice before you get it. But it gives you a little taste. So it gets you to the place where you can say, oh, you know what? It's like Spartan Gaming there saying, you know what? I like that. I want to learn that. So I really am trying to get you to get to the place where you pick up a divinatory practice, because I really think a practice of divination for you is very, very powerful. And it will help expand your spirituality. It will help you learn to think outside the box. And it will help you, I'm convinced, also navigate your way in the afterlife labyrinth. What to do when you die. We're doing a series about that now, and it's the Western Book of the Dead. So make sure that you avail yourself of that very, very important information. And we look forward to you taking part in that. In just a few hours, we'll have Wayne Steiger joining me at 9 a.m. Eastern time for Not Your Normal Sunday morning show. I always enjoy being with Wayne. He's a font of knowledge. His style probably couldn't be much different from mine. I like fidgety stones. He's an excellent dude, lots of great knowledge. And when he's around, I'm not the oldest guy in the room. So that makes me feel good as well. So, Heidi Vandenberg, Channel 27, Wayne Steiger, our Wayne Steiger Show, Rex Bear, Leak Project, DJ Ransom, another great channel. So what does it mean when my cat pees on my tarot cards? It means it's time to get some new tarot cards, in my opinion. Folks, I salute you. Thank you, Davey. That means a lot to me. I salute you for being here seeking truth. I'm serious too, Spartan Gaming. If a cat peed on mine, I would throw them away. I would think they were soiled. I couldn't use them anymore. If a cat peed on them, I would get rid of them. I'm being 100% totally serious, and I do not believe that you have to have your deck given to you. Why would you give your power to someone else? Get your own deck, pick your own deck, pick the one that resonates with you, charge it up on a full moon, charge it up on a new moon, charge it up in the sun. Get your own deck. Spartan Gaming, that's what I believe. Since you asked me, there you go. Gospel Truth Army, glad to have you with us. Again, one more salute. You're seeking truth, no original sin, spark of divinity within. That's why the Christ said, love your neighbor as you love yourself. And of course, he said, that's how you know that you are one with him. So, folks, it's time to decide, has the world gone crazy or have you? I'm here to help you decide and figure out what to do after. First step is unindoctrinate yourself. And to do that, you must stay fearless. My friends, for Heidi Vandenberg, I'm Jeffrey Daugherty. Your harmless, humble, friendly Christian whistleblower. Stay fearless, my friends.